No one really knew what happened to Elijah that night. The only thing anybody knew was when he came out of that surgery. He was different, changed, forever. Although one thing was clear, the world wasn't ready for that change. Scientists tried to explain why Elijah could do what he could do, but they couldn't. Not only because they didn't know where he was or how to track him, but because what happened to that hospital after he woke up can only be explained as supernatural. The walls crumbled, the building burned, and all you could hear was Elijah's scream of fury.
Hey, I'm Elijah Hedgeman, 20 years old, visually impaired, hearing impaired, and I've gone through many challenges in my life. A lot of you might know me as Super Saiyan Perseus, or Elijah Hedgeman, a mixture of both on YouTube. Well, today I'm going to tell you a bit of a story. My challenges. So when I was 2, that's when it all started. When I was 2, I was at least told this by my mom, that we found out from the doctors that the pressure from the fluid buildup in my head was very high. And this is how we found out I had a high tolerance for pain, because I was running around the house like nothing happened. When according to the doctors, I shouldn't have even been awake. Like I should have been in the coma from how high the pressure was. But apparently my body decided to be like, well, no, we're not going to tell you that. So they went in, fixed what they could, but the pressure buildup had already affected my optic nerves and gave me what's called bilateral optic nerve atrophy, which is when both optic nerves are affected. And in my case, they were affected to the point where obviously nothing too crazy happened, but I did lose some of my vision. Ever since 2 years old, I've been visually impaired, and I can only see shadows. I have light perception, so I can tell when the lights are on or off. And I can differentiate colors, but kind of depends on which color is which. So if they're really dark or really bright, then I can differentiate them. If they're a mixture, then it's a bit harder. Over the years, I ended up also becoming hearing impaired due to lots and lots of ear infections that kind of just slowly, I guess, deteriorated my hearing. Eventually, we had to put tubes in my ears to try to help drain the fluid. Yeah, let's just say they fell out like twice, and now I have a hole in my right eardrum that's acting as a tube, so we didn't put the tubes back. I want to say we didn't put the tube in my left ear back either. Due to all this, I've had, and this was confirmed by my parents, because I honestly thought at some points that I was exaggerating, but apparently not. I've had over 50 surgeries. I don't know the exact number, but I've had definitely over 50 in my whole life. Most of them being major. In other words, putting the shunt back or something like that. 2 of them were mid-face surgeries, which were surgeries to help my Crouzon syndrome. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's a syndrome where the bones don't exactly develop the way they're supposed to. They develop either too early or they don't really develop again the way they're supposed to. So it can leave you with a small chin, eyes that look bigger than they are, or narrow airways. In my case, it did all 3. So physically, my face doesn't really look, I guess, the way it should. Based on what I said, my airways are also really narrow, so I can't breathe through my nose. We had a few surgeries, aka the mid-face, to try to help with that, to move the bones in my face kind of like forward so everything could clear up. Yeah, that didn't exactly work well. So yeah, I can't breathe through my nose. I can't smell, like, at all. I'm literally serious. Unless I breathe in really strong scents and I can taste them, I can't smell at all. It's been that way ever since I was a baby, from what I remember. I think there might have been a time where I could smell for like a bit. From what my mom said, there was a time, I think after a surgery, where I said I could smell. I personally don't remember that, but I can tell you, like, as of right now, I can't smell. And yeah, all of these surgeries, I can't even lie. I ended up finding out a few years ago that I have depression, PTSD, and anxiety. The PTSD most likely from all the surgeries that I've been through and the car accident that I was in when I was a lot younger. Um, but at the same time, if I could redo all of this, I don't think I would change it. Now, why, you might ask? Because it made me who I am today. I'm visually impaired, hearing impaired, can't smell, but I'm still going through life just fine. I'm living proof, and I'm not the only one, because I have many friends who are visually impaired and stuff like that too. But I'm living proof that you can do it. People say you can't, people think you can't because of your disabilities, but you can. The only one that can tell you and seriously make you not be able to do it is you. But if you look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, or just talk to yourself and tell yourself, I can do this, so what people say I can't, then you can. It's all up to you. No one else can do it for you. No one else can seriously make you stop. That's only going to happen when you start getting in your head and telling yourself you can't. That's why I wouldn't do any of this over. Because as I've gotten older and gotten to where I am today, I want to speak on this stuff. I want to be able to let people know, people like me, we're still human. We can still do things. Just because we have disabilities doesn't mean that we are disabled. Just because we have disabilities doesn't mean we can't walk through life the same way you can. So that's what I'm going to do. Over 50 surgeries in my whole life. I'm not going to say they were easy because they weren't. Heck, the last one I had. So for those of you who have looked at some of my videos, I made it clear that from September 28th all the way to now, I've been in and out of surgery. That was because a cyst, or no, at first I think it was just because we were trying to correct the shunt. Something happened and we had to go in and do all that. And then we found out that the cyst, or a cyst, I think it was like, I forget how long, but a pretty big cyst had formed in my stomach because the fluid that was supposed to be draining from the shunt and going throughout my body wasn't doing that. It was just collecting in my stomach. So for a while we didn't know. I just knew that my stomach was hurting, and anytime I tried to eat anything I felt full, so I didn't really eat for a long time. And then we went back to the hospital. We figured that all out. We drained the cyst. We took the shunt out in order to drain it even more. Then we did surgery to put the shunt back in. Ever since then, I've been in pain, but nothing too crazy. Have a collapsed lung, or like a half collapsed lung, I think, from laying down so much and not really moving around, so I'm trying to fix that. But today I think is the second or third day since I've been home, and I've honestly been feeling great today. And again, this is just proof. Miracles can happen. I've made it through all of this, and I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. You can do it too. All you have to do is believe in yourself. That's my story. Medically, my story has been crazy. It all started when I was 2, led up to now. It's been, I guess 19 years since all of this started. And I can tell you right now, it hasn't gotten any easier. But that doesn't mean it's impossible to get through. I've gotten through it. So can you. Your challenges don't define you. Your challenges aren't there to destroy you. Your challenges are there to test you. I guess in a way they do define you, because they're there to help you define who you want to be. Are you going to be someone who crumbles and gives up because of the challenges, or are you going to be someone who conquers them? And trust me, conquering them is not easy. There are many times where I've wanted to give up, including recently, but I haven't, and I'm not going to anytime soon. Don't give up when it gets hard. Push through it. You can do it. I know you can. And for those of you who are interested about my story, well, hey, now you know part of it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you do, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Love you guys, and peace out. I'm Elijah Hedgeman, and this is my story.